Have you ever wondered what would happen if you suddenly lost your job or faced a major unexpected expense? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? This is where the concept of an emergency fund comes into play. An emergency fund, a stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way, is a key component of a solid financial plan. Think of it as a financial safety net. It's there to catch you when you fall, providing peace of mind and financial security in the face of unexpected expenses or job loss. This fund is your buffer against the unexpected, your safety pad against life's sharp edges. With an emergency fund, you're not living on the financial edge anymore. You're prepared, you're secure, you're in control. It's not just about money, it's about giving yourself the freedom to make choices and weather financial storms. An emergency fund is an essential tool in managing financial risks and ensuring your financial health. So, what exactly is an emergency fund? Simply put, an emergency fund is your personal financial cushion, a stash of money set aside to cover those financial surprises that life inevitably throws your way. These unexpected events can be stressful and costly, and having an emergency fund can help alleviate some of that stress. Think about some of the top emergencies people face. Job loss, for instance. This can be a major hit to your finances if you're not prepared. Or consider a medical or dental emergency. These can come out of nowhere and often carry hefty price tags. Unexpected home repairs, car troubles, or even unplanned travel expenses can also create financial strain. But here's where your emergency fund comes into play. This money is there for you when you need it most, providing a financial buffer to help you navigate through these unpredictable events. Remember, these events are unpredictable and your emergency fund serves as your financial safety net. Now, you might be wondering, how much money should be in your emergency fund? Well, the general rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses tucked away. This includes everything from your rent or mortgage to groceries, utility bills, and even your Netflix subscription. However, it's important to remember that this is just a guideline and not a one-size-fits-all solution. The exact amount can vary greatly depending on your individual circumstances and financial obligations. For instance, if you're the sole earner in a family of 4, you might want to save more than someone who is single and has fewer financial responsibilities. Also, don't be disheartened if you're unable to save up 6 months' worth of expenses right away. The key here is consistency. Even if you're only able to put away a small amount each month, it will eventually add up. While the amount may seem daunting, remember that the goal is to start saving consistently, no matter how small the amount. Building an emergency fund might seem challenging, but it's definitely achievable with a plan. Let's break down this process into 5 simple yet effective steps. Firstly, determine your monthly expenses. This includes everything from your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation costs, and any other recurring expenses. Understanding where your money goes each month is the first step towards creating a robust emergency fund. Next, set a goal. Financial experts often recommend having enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. This might seem like a lofty goal, but remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Your emergency fund won't be either. Now, on to the third step, create a budget. With your monthly expenses and savings goal in mind, it's time to plan out your monthly budget. Remember to allocate a portion of your income towards your emergency fund. This might mean tightening the belt in some areas, but the peace of mind you'll gain from having a safety net is worth it. Which brings us to step 4, identify ways to cut back. Maybe it's that daily latte or monthly streaming service subscription. Perhaps you can cook at home more often or use public transportation. There's often more room in our budgets to save than we think. It just requires a little creativity and discipline. Finally, step 5, make saving automatic. Most banks offer automatic transfers between checking and savings accounts. You can set up a weekly or monthly transfer to your emergency fund. This way, you're consistently contributing without having to think about it. Think of these steps as a roadmap to financial security. It's not about reaching your goal overnight. Instead, it's about making small, consistent efforts that will add up over time. It's about creating a buffer between you and life's unexpected turns. By following these steps, you can systematically and successfully build your emergency fund. Once you start saving, it's important to know where to keep your emergency fund. The key is to keep it separate from your everyday checking account. Why, you ask? Well, it's simple. If your emergency fund is too accessible, you might be tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. Now let's consider some options. High-yield savings accounts are a great choice. They offer higher interest rates than regular savings accounts, allowing your money to grow over time. Just make sure to choose an account with no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. Another option is a money market account. These accounts often offer higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts, and some even come with check-writing privileges, which can come in handy during emergencies. Remember, the goal here isn't to grow your wealth, but rather to protect it. Choosing the right place to keep your emergency fund can help you avoid the temptation to spend it and ensure it is available when you need it. Having built your emergency fund, the final step is knowing how to maintain and use it. Now you might think, I've reached my goal, I can stop saving. But here's the thing, maintaining an emergency fund is a continuous process, not a one-time event. Why? Life is unpredictable. Costs can rise, emergencies can become more expensive, and inflation can eat into your savings. So it's important to keep contributing to your emergency fund. You don't have to put in as much as when you were building it, but even a small, regular contribution can make a big difference in the long run. Now let's talk about when to dip into your emergency fund. You've built this fund for emergencies, right? So it should be used for unexpected, necessary expenses. We're talking about things like sudden medical expenses, major car repairs, or job loss. Situations that are urgent, necessary, and unexpected. What it's not for are those, I really want a new TV moments, or I could use a vacation. Those are wants, not needs. It's crucial to distinguish between the two to ensure that your emergency fund stays intact for real emergencies. So, you've had an emergency, and you've used some of your fund. What now? Well, once you're past the emergency, it's time to start replenishing. This might mean tightening your belt for a while, cutting back on non-essential expenses until your fund is back to its target level. Think of your emergency fund as a financial buffer. It's there to help you weather the storms of life without sinking into debt. It's not a piggy bank for wants or a source of easy money. It's a financial lifesaver. Remember, your emergency fund is for real emergencies. Use it wisely and it can be a financial lifesaver.